excited and happy you're here because I'm going to be talking about something that has really been on my heart and frankly the theme of my entire reason that I am on social now, sharing thoughts and feelings and stories, and that is about peace. And everything I create is to help you create peace because I lived so long without it my entire life because of my mental health and how I perceived and understood things. So if you want to figure out, or not even figure out, if you want to have a new perspective on maybe how you can have some peace in your life, then stick around. That's what we're going to be talking about today. The word coexist for me has such an astronomical weight to it. I can't find the words. I never once thought I'd be able to live peacefully with my anxiety, OCD, PTSD, and mental trauma, but I did find a way, and God created a way, and I'd love to share that with you today, friends, because sometimes peace is not how we imagine it. It's been over 2 years now since successfully receiving a harm OCD diagnosis, recovering from a suicide attempt, and I don't know how else to put it. Therefore, I'm still learning how to live again, which sounds a little funny, but it's true. I'm still trying to figure out how to not be afraid of daily spikes in anxiety, cringing, knowing intrusive thoughts are most likely going to follow. I'm still trying to trust doctors after 20 years of wrong medication and not getting enough time allocated and misdiagnosis, and I'm still trying to figure out how to coexist with happiness, and I find myself clutching it sometimes, smothering it, afraid my OCD, anxiety, PTSD from a lifelong battle will swoop in and steal it from me. And my face still hurts when I smile because I cried more than I laughed until now, and I spent more sick days than healthy ones, and I'm learning to wake up without too many anxious thoughts and to actually be excited for the day. And I finally got the hang of the simplest things like dinners and social gatherings and birthday parties, because before I was never invited, or I attended very little, or I declined often in the past, mostly because of my mental health, anxiety, and my rumination process, and they make me very tired sometimes, these gatherings, and despite loving other people, and I consider myself an extrovert, I need to take lots of naps, and I'm learning that that's okay too. I have to rest often, and that's fine. It's rebuild my stamina, and I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to eat breakfast again because I'm not sick of anxiety in the mornings anymore, and they're actually enjoyable, and dinners are great despite all the triggers of potential allergic reactions, panic attacks, and dangerous steak knives that my OCD used to convince me was the end of all ends. Those were some of my triggers for years, and oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm working on letting people see that, see my anxiety, my pacing, my crying, and my hand wringing, and accepting that I'm lovable, and I'm not a burden. And I finally figured out even the smallest of things, I can take a mental health day from my job, and that's okay, and I don't need to be perfect. And heck, I can even talk about my childhood now, which was a time that was really lonely and had a lot of debilitating seasons, and I'm able to talk about the good moments and the hope embedded in them. I don't know, there's just been a shift, and I think you can have that shift too, and you deserve it if you're in a season of struggle, or you've been in a lifetime of struggle. I want to sit here and tell you it's possible. So really, in a nutshell, anxiety is an umbrella term, and I believe it is so important that if you are suffering from anxiety, if you haven't gotten professional help, it is so important to be aggressive with your mental health and treat it like any other illness, such as if you break your leg or you have some physical condition, and to be an advocate for yourself and not just sit in these sessions, in your therapy sessions, while you're trying to build a relationship just to talk it out. Make sure your therapist is teaching you things and your doctors are teaching you things and educating you, because they're only with you an hour a week at most, maybe 2 hours a week, and you need to start educating yourself so that you can start treating yourself. And I mean that as in do the exercises that they give you more efficiently, and look out for signs with friends and family, and not be thrown under the umbrella term. Now, some people do just have anxiety, but I'm a strong believer that anxiety stems from other issues. It could be something physical, it could be food or fit related. It can also be a chemical imbalance. It can be from a medication. It can be from a childhood trauma. It can be from another traumatic experience. It can be from anything, a life change. And I think it's so important to identify that, because you can get to the root of the cause and start like solving your problem and fixing this and finding some form of peace. And there's also the after. So as someone in recovery now, the word brokenness, as I explained, hits a little different. Like, brokenness to me now is a compliment. I think it's beautiful and I think it's God's design. But before, I was looking at brokenness a little differently, and I looked at it as if I was unlovable and I am a burden and I am not worthy of being alive and I am not fixable. And that also impacted me as a woman in terms of like physical beauty and societal standards, with how brokenness looked on the skin of my body and how my hair looked and my straightness of my teeth and the brightness of my eyes, and if my mascara was dripping off because I was crying from anxiety attacks. And I felt therefore not beautiful, and I felt ugly, and I couldn't get on camera, and I felt embarrassed to take pictures of myself. And for years I hid behind the camera. Now I am a photographer, so sometimes that's okay. I was trying to counter my mental pain and counteract that with focusing on my physical self and nitpicking and pulling myself apart and forcing myself, like I had to be beautiful on the outside because I was so ugly on the inside. Wow, what a disservice to my soul. Like, what a disservice to my persona, to my skills, to my gifts, to my weaknesses that I can grow or connect with other people over. What a disservice. And I was so convinced that ugly was ugly and without purpose. But guys, there is so much purpose in ugliness, and that's God. God works in the ugly. Ugliness, that's a good segue to God. The changing, stripping, heartbreaking, and wonderful process of knowing God, dying to yourself and taking the power away from the painful knives of mental health. Look, I've got 100 of questions about God, and I've told the story of how I became into a relationship with him in Christianity, and it just shocks some people. And some people tell me it sounds a little bit like some fabricated fairy tale, like I'm a girl, me, with no understanding of religion, gets pulled from the clutches of a dead body and a toxic mind to have a chosen everlasting life. To become a girl who has faith in all of it so suddenly. It sounds fake, huh? Some people in my life call me a Kool-Aid drinker now. And that I'm in some cult, or argue because the material world failed my health, that I have no choice but to turn to the quote fictional one. The fictional one. Guys, let me tell you, Jesus is as close to a fairy tale as we can get in this world, and I don't mean fictional, I mean extraordinary. Like a relationship beyond our comprehension, and a story that we don't deserve. I hope we don't deserve. Let me be transparent with you, like so painfully honest. I'm scared every day, all the time. I don't feel capable or worthy, and I feel small, and I don't know the answers, and I have more questions now than ever, and I struggle every day as a Christian, but I just know it's real, and I can feel it. And Christianity makes you see your brokenness and then some more. And that makes a lot of people confused. Like, if I'm feeling mentally broken, how can like seeing more brokenness in my life be the antidote? And I just want to ask, like, my friends, isn't so much of our pain and anxiety every day stemming from what we think we need to be, imagine, or dream, or question what we should be doing, and like how to act, and clawing for societal perfection that is unattainable? That was my problem. My worth was written in numbers, awards, followers, and titles, and not in the fact that I have a name. Guys, if you feel for a second purposeless, just for a moment, like, I want you to remember that you have a name, that you and I exist. Seeing and acknowledging more of your brokenness and that of your neighbor, it gives you peace, and not the peace you think you know, a different kind of peace, that this life isn't about how many dollar signs you make, or how white your teeth are, or how many speeches you give, or if you wear a name brand. It's about the kindness and the love. And I'm sorry if that's simple, but sometimes the most beautiful and wonderful things are. And it's about becoming the best person you can, and not just on the cover of a magazine. For some people are called to do that, but I'm talking about to become the best to the people closest to you, to the people that need support, to the people that need friendship and hugs and sharing wisdom, and to enrich each other's lives. And that is, to enrich another person's life is a gift. And as Christians, we're called to serve and be used for that purpose, to give that gift. And that just takes so much of the weight off my shoulders now. And to the people that shrug at me and tell me I'm insane and brainwashed, I just want to ask, like, what's the alternative? Nothing? Emptiness? Judgment? No God? No meaning to your name? No meaning to your purpose here? Just a few years we have, and it's all crammed together until we're dust? That sounds fictional to me, not Jesus. I don't know. Just another one of my tangents. You'll get used to that. I love you all so much, and that's super important, because love is expandable and something we can give every day. So I just want you to know I mean it. Maybe it's only 10 of you watching, but that's 10 more people than before who might gain something from my little tangential thoughts, and that truly means so much to me, and thank you for being here. So I will see you guys later in another video, and somewhere on the TikTok, Instagram channels, the podcast. Please subscribe if you want to be a part of our little sunny community. Please check out the other channels. It would just mean so much to me, and I appreciate you so much, and I pray that this spoke to you in some way and that you have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you later.